with that, let's move on in the bulletin now and tell you how, according to sources, the decision of Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav might be taken by the Pakistan in 6 to 7 months. Well, Jadhav was earlier sentenced to death by Pakistan's military court on charges of espionage and sabotage. But India is now hoping that the death sentence will at least be commuted to life imprisonment. While on one hand, Jadhav forces imprisonment in Pakistan jail for no fault of his, well, the terror mastermind Hafiz on the other hand, is being shielded by Pakistan. Well, Saeed is under house arrest, but Pakistan continues to deny his involvement in terror activities.
Well, first of all, they need to give consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav. And insofar as his fate is concerned, the only true adjudication of his fate would be that Pakistan acknowledges that they have put an Indian national through a kangaroo process and they must return him to India.
Well, remember, this is the dichotomy which has been displayed by Pakistan. On one hand, an innocent such as Jadhav, who does not even have any links to the Indian armed forces, has been held for espionage because he had mistakenly gone in to Pakistan. On the other hand, you have Hafiz, who continues to be under house arrest, and they say that despite all the dossiers being provided against him, there's not enough ample, sufficient evidence against him. Ironic, isn't it? Well, let's go across to Madhav Gopalakrishnan, our senior editor, who's joining us with more on this. Well, Madhav, it seems when it comes to Hafiz, they continue to be on denial. However, without a shred of evidence on Jadhav, they have taken a very stern step towards it, and it's going to be gallows for him.
Well, quite clearly, Meghna, the double standards of Pakistan are there for all to see. Clearly, in the case of Jadhav, as you rightly mentioned, very little in terms of evidence or nothing in terms of evidence the Pakistan government has to show for in front of the media or in front of the international community. Yet, he stands convicted in a military court in a completely sham trial without even being given an opportunity to defend himself. India, of course, is all set to try and appeal the order of that military court, but clearly it's not something that is been a very easy process with even consular access, despite India's 15 demands, if I'm not mistaken, being completely rejected by Pakistan. And now, in fact, this information coming in that within the next 4 to 6 months is when we expect to see a final decision as far as Kulbhushan Jadhav is concerned to be taken by the Pakistan government. But either way, of course, for India, it is very crucial that Kulbhushan Jadhav be brought back to the country. Clearly, consular access and the judicial processes in Pakistan notwithstanding, this is one issue on which we have seen political unity cutting across party lines, and that's why it's going to be very significant for India to ensure that Kulbhushan Jadhav is very much within or within at least access of the Indian government, and that he is given a fair trial as far as Pakistan is concerned, because so far the double standards that have been shown by Pakistan, refusing to act on Hafiz while speeding up the trial against Kulbhushan Jadhav, is certainly something that India is extremely concerned about and has, in fact, raised its issues on this matter with Pakistan several times in the past as well, Meghna.
Well, Madhav, even the half step that they've taken for Hafiz, the fact that they have put him again in house arrest for the next 90 odd days or so, the big question is, why are they even taking that half step? Are they slightly worried about the Trump administration and its new policies?
Well, that of course, there would be international pressure bearing down on Pakistan, but notwithstanding that, we must remember that this isn't the first time that Hafiz has been placed in house arrest. It's happened at least 7 or 8 times in the past as well, and that's really the clear indication of what Pakistan is doing. You rightly called it a half step. It is in fact short of actually going ahead and making him stand trial, convicting him for the kind of ghastly crimes, including terror strikes, not once, not twice, but several times over on India in the past as well. So clearly, in that light, a lot more action that could be expected from Pakistan on someone like Hafiz, who's known and has openly provocated India and has in fact propagated rather attacks on India, has taken responsibility for various attacks that have taken place on Indian territory. So clearly, in that light, one would expect that the Pakistan government would in fact take a stricter view of Hafiz, but clearly their dragging their feet very clearly indicates the kind of role of not just the military establishment but also the ruling administration in Pakistan is concerned.
Well, Madhav, in fact, do stay on with us. Several reactions have been coming in. Let's get our viewers some of the voices of activists as well.
Of distinction between the civilian leadership and the military leadership is spurious. Pakistan is one entity, and such distinctions are invented to keep India confused. There is no room for confusion. Pakistan acts against India as one entity, and it must bear the consequences of it. And there must not be any alibi or any escape route for anyone in Pakistan.
Well, that, of course, is one of the top focus stories right here on NewsX. However,